Hey everyone, and welcome to your personalized deep dive into e-commerce psychology.
Powered by Growth Suite.
That's right. Growth Suite helps you run smart discount campaigns on your store. You can test it for free on your Shopify store. Just head over to the Shopify App Store and give it a try. Today we're taking a deep dive into the world of FOMO.
Fear of missing out.
Exactly, and how to use it ethically to really boost your e-commerce sales. We've got some great insights from an article on commerce psychology.
Which is run by the folks behind Growth Suite.
So we're going to be pulling out the best tips and tricks just for you.
We're going to help you learn how to create that buzz.
Design websites and messaging that really convert.
And measure your success all while staying on the right side of ethics.
It's like finding that sweet spot between creating excitement.
Without resorting to those pushy tactics that savvy customers can see right through.
Okay, so let's break down this whole FOMO phenomenon. I mean, we've all felt it, right? Scrolling through social media and suddenly feeling like everyone's on a tropical vacation except for you. But how did FOMO go from this social feeling to a marketing strategy?
It's really interesting how this evolved. The term FOMO was coined back in the late 90s, but it really took off as the internet and social media exploded. It went from being about missing that party to missing out on experiences, limited edition products, you name it. Think about those flash sales that create a frenzy.
Yeah, like when a brand announces a limited drop of a new sneaker and suddenly everyone's trying to snag a pair.
Exactly. Brands realized they could tap into this desire to not be left out, and studies have shown that these limited time offers can really increase conversion rates. But here's the thing, there's a real art to using FOMO ethically.
So it's not just about slapping a countdown timer on every product and calling it a day. What's the psychology behind making FOMO work in the right way?
It all comes down to those cognitive biases that drive our decisions, like loss aversion, for instance. We hate losing something way more than we enjoy gaining something of equal value. So when we see a limited time offer, our brains zero in on what we might lose if we don't act.
Like missing out on that great deal.
Right. Then you've got the scarcity principle. The rarer something seems, the more we want it.
It's like those only 3 left messages that make you want to grab one before they're gone.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And don't forget the bandwagon effect. If everyone else is buying it, it must be good, right? It's like social proof on steroids. But it gets even cooler when you look at the neuroscience. When we see that ticking clock or a limited quantity available message, our brains actually release dopamine, that feel-good hormone.
Hold on. So FOMO is literally messing with our brain chemistry. That explains a lot. But you mentioned doing this ethically. How do we make sure we're not crossing the line into manipulation?
That's the million-dollar question. The article from e-commerce psychology lays out a clear ethical framework, and it boils down to transparency. Customers need to feel like they have all the information to make a good decision, and the urgency you create needs to be genuine. No more fake countdown timers or constantly extended one-day-only sales. Those tactics are not only unethical, but they're also losing their effectiveness.
So it's about being straight with your customers and creating urgency based on real limitations.
Exactly. Imagine a company selling handmade leather bags. They can genuinely only produce so many each month because of the craftsmanship involved. That's authentic scarcity, and being upfront about it builds trust with customers.
Makes sense. So we've talked about the psychology and the ethics, but what about the practical side? How do we actually put these ethical FOMO principles into action without setting off any alarm bells?
That's what we'll dive into next. We'll explore how to design your website and craft your messaging to create that sense of urgency without being pushy or misleading.
All right, so let's get tactical. How do we actually put these ethical FOMO principles into action?
It's all about finding creative ways to showcase those real limitations. Let's say you have a limited stock of a product.
Okay.
Instead of just saying limited stock, get specific and visual. Show the actual number available, like only 5 left in size medium.
Oh, I see.
That creates a sense of scarcity that's both real and eye-catching.
That makes people think twice before waiting.
Right. And what if the scarcity is tied to the product itself, like something unique about how it's made?
That's a good point.
That's where storytelling comes in. If you're selling handcrafted jewelry, explain the process, why each piece takes time to create. People are more likely to value something when they understand the effort behind it.
It's about transparency and giving them a glimpse behind the scenes.
Exactly. And the same goes for time-based offers. If you're running a flash sale, make the start and end times super clear. Use a countdown timer, sure, but make sure it's accurate. Yeah. Don't reset it unless there's a real reason to extend the offer. Think of it like a limited time exhibition. You've got a set window to catch it.
So no more of those shady flash sales that seem to drag on forever.
No way. Those tricks just erode trust and hurt your brand in the long run. Now let's talk about personalization. We can actually use data to tailor offers to each shopper's interests and behavior.
So if someone's been looking at a specific product, we can give them a little nudge with a personalized time-limited offer.
Precisely. Imagine a customer keeps adding a certain item to their cart but doesn't buy it. You could send them an email saying, "Hey, we noticed you're interested in this and wanted to give you a special 10% discount for the next 24 hours. Don't miss out."
That feels more helpful than pushy, right?
Exactly. But always be transparent about how you're using customer data and give people the option to opt out if they want. Respecting privacy is crucial.
Absolutely. And what about using social proof to create that sense of urgency?
Ah, yes, the power of the crowd. You can do this ethically by showing real-time purchase notifications on your website. Imagine a little pop-up saying, "Someone just bought this," or display how many people have viewed or liked a product.
So we're not talking about those fake testimonials or inflated numbers.
Not at all. Authenticity is key. Show genuine reviews from happy customers. Let their enthusiasm speak for itself.
Okay, that makes sense. So we've got these strategies, but how do we actually implement them on our websites and in our marketing?
Let's start with website design. Countdown timers can be super effective, but don't go overboard. Place them strategically near products that are genuinely part of a limited time offer, and make sure they're easy to see and understand, especially on mobile.
Because those tiny blinking timers can be annoying.
Exactly. And if you're using low stock alerts, make them clear and prominent. Don't hide them in the fine print.
So it's about a less is more approach using these things strategically.
Precisely. Now let's talk copywriting. How do we use language to create that sense of urgency without resorting to those over-the-top sales tactics?
I'm all ears.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the ethical copywriting secrets.
The key is to be clear, concise, and engaging without using pressure tactics or anxiety-inducing language. Instead of screaming, "Sale, sale, sale," try something like "limited time offer, save 20% on your favorite items."
So it's about being informative and enticing without being too aggressive.
Exactly. And always back up your urgency claims with real reasons. For example, last chance to grab these summer styles before they're gone. That's clear, concise, and it connects the urgency to a real event, the end of the season.
Right. It's all about honesty and transparency. So we've talked website design, copywriting. What about structuring those limited time offers? What are some ethical and creative ways to do that?
Let's explore some options. Flash sales are a classic, but make sure you have a real-time window and you stick to it. Bundle offers where customers get a discount when they buy multiple items can be really effective too. You can even offer free shipping for a limited time. Just make it clear when the offer ends. And for new product launches, early bird incentives can generate excitement without being deceptive.
So many options. It's about finding what works best for your brand and your customers.
Exactly. And don't underestimate email marketing and remarketing.
Ah, yes. Reaching out to those who maybe missed the boat or left items in their cart.
Right. Abandoned cart emails can gently remind shoppers about that limited time offer that's about to expire. You can also send emails to customers who've shown interest in certain products or categories.
It's a friendly reminder without being pushy.
Exactly. Offer value, not just endless sales pitches. Now, we've covered a lot from website design to copywriting to email marketing, but how do we know if it's actually working? How do we measure success without losing sight of our ethical goals?
That's a great question. We'll unpack that right after a quick word from our sponsor.
This podcast is brought to you by Growth Suite. Remember, Growth Suite can help you implement these ethical FOMO strategies easily. Head over to the Shopify App Store to test it out for free.
And we're back, ready to dive into the metrics that matter. It's not just about chasing those impulse buys, right?
Exactly. It's not just about those quick wins. It's about thinking long-term and putting customer trust first.
Okay, so what are some of the metrics we should be looking at? Like, what's the scorecard for success when it comes to ethical FOMO?
Well, conversion rates are still important, of course. We want to see if those limited time offers are actually bringing in more sales. But we also got to keep an eye on those cart abandonment rates. If folks are adding stuff to their cart but not actually buying, it could be a sign that our urgency tactics are a bit too much or feeling kind of manipulative.
So it's about finding that balance,
Yeah.
between creating a sense of urgency and respecting the customer's decision-making process.
Absolutely. And let's not forget about customer satisfaction. Are people happy with what they bought? Are they leaving good reviews? Are they coming back for more? Those are all really good signs.
All right, happy customers are the best advertising you can get.
Exactly. Repeat purchases are a great indicator of loyalty, which is what we're ultimately aiming for. Now, you might be wondering how to figure out what's hitting the mark and what's not.
Yeah, how do we know if we need to adjust our approach? It's like fine-tuning a recipe, right?
You got it. A/B testing is your best friend here.
Ah, yes, the trusty A/B test. So, what kind of things should we be testing when it comes to ethical urgency?
You could test different levels of intensity, like compare a 24-hour countdown timer with a 48-hour one and see which performs better. Or try different messages. Compare a simple "sale ends soon" to a more emotionally driven one, like "don't miss this incredible deal, see what your audience responds to better."
It's all about experimentation, right? Gathering that data to see what works best for our specific audience and brand.
Precisely. And don't just track the immediate sales, but also things like return rates, customer complaints, and long-term engagement. We want to build something sustainable, not just a temporary spike in sales. But numbers can only tell us so much, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
Like, how do we really get a feel for how our customers feel about all of this? Data is good, but sometimes you need to hear it straight from the source.
Absolutely. That's where direct feedback comes in. Use social media surveys, email follow-ups, whatever works, to gauge how people felt about your limited time offers. Were they excited? Did they feel pressured? Was the information clear and transparent?
So it's about opening up that conversation and using what we learned to refine our approach.
Exactly. It's a feedback loop that ensures that your urgency tactics are not only effective, but also ethical and customer-centric. At the end of the day, building those strong relationships is key.
Well said. So, are there any brands out there that are really knocking it out of the park when it comes to ethical FOMO? Like any shining examples we can learn from?
Oh, absolutely. There are tons of brands showing us that you can create that buzz and drive sales without resorting to those shady tactics.
Okay, I'm all ears. Who are these ethical FOMO superstars?
Some apparel brands are doing a great job with real-time stock counts. They show exactly how many items are left in each size, creating that genuine scarcity without any gimmicks.
It's like, hey, if you want this, you better grab it now.
Exactly. And some tech companies are super transparent about their production limits. They'll announce pre-order windows based on their actual manufacturing capacity, which builds excitement without that artificial scarcity.
I love that. It's about being honest and respecting your customer's intelligence.
Absolutely. But of course, there are also those who haven't quite hit the mark. We've seen those cases where brands face backlash for inflating scarcity or using those fake countdown timers.
Yeah, those tactics can really damage a brand's reputation.
No doubt. It's a good reminder that honesty and transparency are always the best policy.
So the takeaway here is to be upfront and authentic. Don't try to fool your customers. Build trust by being straightforward.
Exactly. And it's crucial to build that culture of ethical urgency marketing within your company.
It's about walking the walk right, making sure your actions align with your values, and getting everyone on board.
Precisely. Set clear guidelines. Make sure everyone gets the importance of transparency, customer focus, and ethical decision-making. Review your campaigns, make sure they're aligned with those values. It's about finding that sweet spot between driving sales and building genuine long-term relationships with your customers. It's a win-win when done right.
This has been such an insightful deep dive into the world of ethical FOMO. We've gone from the psychology behind it to the practical strategies and seen how real brands are doing it, both the good and the not so good.
And we've learned how to measure success ethically and foster a customer-centric approach to marketing.
So what's the big takeaway? What do we hope our listeners will remember?
That ethical urgency isn't just a nice-to-have, it's a must-have. You can create excitement-boost sales and build that loyal following without resorting to tricks. It's about transparency, authenticity, and respecting your customers.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
And if you're looking for a tool that can help you put all of this into action, check out Growth Suite.
Growth Suite makes it super easy to create and manage those limited time offers, track your results, and make sure everything is above board ethically and effectively.
This deep dive was powered by Growth Suite. Growth Suite helps you run those smart discount campaigns on your Shopify store. Give it a try for free on your Shopify store. Just head over to the Shopify App Store and download it.
We hope you enjoyed this exploration of ethical FOMO. Now go out there and create some magic, but always remember to put your customers first.
Until next time, happy selling.